One thing's for sure after these players met with the media today is that there's no good questions to ask and there's nothing left to say. So let's bring on Troy, right? Let's get this over with quickly. Anyway, this is an extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to this extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. I am your host, Stephen Willis, at the Stephen Willis down below, and thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. You can catch us on YouTube as well. So subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also hit the bell for notifications. And, of course, upvote the video itself. It will be greatly appreciated. Now, AJ Finley, Otis, Reese, and Zach Evans met the media today. And the one thing that came across from that was that these guys are tired of talking to the media. There's no more questions to ask. Everything has kind of run its course when it comes to, etiquette whenever you go back and forth. I'm not saying the players were short or anything like that. Just the answers and the questions, if you listen to them, it was like, okay, these are the very bottom ones. When you had 20 questions at the beginning of camp, we've gotten down to the bottom. But there was 3 nuggets that you might be interested in. One, Zach Evans wants 20 to 25 touches per game. That means he wants an expanded workload. He's never had a huge workload in his past. When he was at TCU, he always ended up averaging 7 yards a carry on like 100 carries for a season. He wants an extended workload. We know that Lane Kiffin will give a running back an extended workload if he deserves it. Lane Kiffin famously just handed the ball to Derrick Henry on the way to the national championship 45 times a game in November. So that's something we need to keep an eye on as well. AJ Finley obviously has seen a culture change. He has been here from the Wesley McGriff times, defensive coordinator, to now. He saw the whole transformation. He was a large part of that transformation. And you forget about that. A.J. Finley has been so consistent back there in the back of the defense. We'll see what the defense looks like now, but, man, it's come a long way. And also, Chris Partridge, whenever he took over, he focused this summer on breaking down the defense situationally. 2-minute drill, 4-minute drill. These are little things that are big for winning the game. It just is. It's important to win the game. And those are the 3 real takeaways from today's post-practice press conference. Before we get to the players, I do want to tell you about BetOnline. It's the fastest and easiest way to check on all your betting needs. Find all of your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports wagering information, from live in-game betting, sports, and podcasts. They have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. Ole Miss is a 21.5-point favorite in Week 1 against Troy. We do our lines every Monday. It has not really changed, and this is one last chance to get in on BetOnline. The regular season win total is at 7.5. 7.5 games. So if you disagree with that, you can kind of put your money where your mouth is. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, thanks for making the Locked On Ole Miss podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts. Let's hear from the players. AJ Finley, Otis Reese, and Zach Evans in that order. Right here on this extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss podcast. Your team every day.
I feel like we're going to do great under Chris Partridge. We got a lot of things, like not a lot of new things, but I feel like the energy has shifted. Like we all fly around. It's a different defense, I feel like. And Saturday, it's obviously fun to get back out with the guys, and it's always, you look forward to not beating up on the same guys over and over, but it's fun to go and play somebody else.
The intensity the intensity been up. Coach been in camp, but coach gave us like a couple of days off. Did a couple of walkthroughs like the last past 2 days, so guys get their legs back. So guys just flying around and just the focus is more there. You know what I'm saying? The meetings way a lot longer. You know what I'm saying? We prepping for game week, so really the mental part just going up. The physical part, how we play, all that still the same. We get out there every day.
Very big from my point of view. My first SEC game. Obviously, it's the first game for the season for everybody. First game really let you know how the next game gonna go. So it's the time for us to just come together as a team, put all the hard work we've been doing all together in one sitting. I'm ready to compete.
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of tough wanting to come in and compete against the same guys every day. It's honestly, the change is good for everybody because like we have something new to look forward to. So I feel like it's good for everybody, honestly.
Oh, well, 100%, man. Everybody healthy, everybody ready to go.
They're very good on defensive side of the ball. They got a couple schemes for us. They got a couple overload front looks that they have to try to confuse, not convince, confuse the protections. But we stay disciplined and do what we was taught, we'll be fine.
And I feel like we've got a lot more depth than last year. We've got guys, honestly, at almost every DB position that can rotate in and be just a starter if they needed to. So I feel pretty comfortable going into the first game that we're going to be pretty good in depth.
All them guys, I can say all those guys that transferred, all the freshmen that came in, Coach Partridge and Coach Partridge did a great job this summer breaking down what defense really is, breaking down our scheme and 2 minute, the 4 minute, the win the game situation. Man, he really like the whole staff, like Coach Carter, Coach Bush, Coach Randall, like everybody, like they really broke it down what football really mean and game situation. So I think the guys overall, we just got a whole better understanding of football and situation and the situation that we're going to get put in.
Not at all. I mean, we're going to keep pushing. We all the team. We're going to obviously let Lane and them figure that side of the ball out. But other than that, running backs, just worry about running backs. You got to mow your own grass, just stay in your own lane, keep pushing, stacking your days.
I mean, yeah, the expectations have definitely risen. Coming into my freshman year, I don't know how many games they won the year before, but I feel like the expectations weren't really that high because, we didn't have a bowl game to look forward to. So I feel like the culture's changed since then because, we have something like we have a goal in sight. So I feel like that is one of the biggest reasons why we've changed and the culture's changed in the program.
Obviously, whole running back room hungry. Everyone got to compete every day. So we come out here and we just do the best that we can. So we ain't got no certain rotation or no certain order. We ain't got just the lead horseman. Right now, we just going in, we doing what we was trained, what we was taught, relying on our discipline, and we're going to go from there.